I have 9 weeks until my end of year exams, so let me tell you how I'm revising for them so you can get a bit of motivation and a few ideas on what to do. I could have just searched that up, but someone gave me the idea of making this video overly cinematic. I don't know who it was, but I think this camera needs to just change a bit. Let me just move it. Okay, that's better. So the reason I find this so scary is because what grades I get in these end of years is going to determine what predicted grades I get, and those are going to determine what uni offers I can get, and that's just terrifying. And knowing that it's only 9 weeks until then is actually just really scary. Don't worry, spoiler, I'm not doing much to revise for these exams, at least not now. So let me just go over a few things I'm doing currently that will hopefully increase my chances of doing well in the end of year exams at the end of the year. Yeah, so let's just go. The first thing I've been doing since the start of the year are flashcards. Since the start of the year, flashcards have been my #1 source of revision for multiple reasons. Sure, it does take some time to make in first place, and I usually do them after every lesson. I'll talk a bit more about that later on. But once you've made them, you have this peace of mind where you don't have to worry about going over that content again, because all you need to do is go over the flashcards for it. I've been using it since like year 10, so if you don't know what it is, make sure you check it out in the top right corner of the screen right now. And usually as time goes on, I'm going to have less and less flashcards that I need to review each day because of the spaced repetition feature that it includes. And yeah, so I recommend that if you haven't learned all the content by now, to start making flashcards on them, or whatever sort of way that works for you, just some sort of way for you to learn the information, because you need to make sure you know everything, because for me at least, you really can't cram all that information. There's just so much content in A-levels, it's completely different to GCSE. But at the same time, once you've learnt it through flashcards, as long as you keep on reviewing them regularly, you don't have any sort of problem to worry about, and all you need to do is practice questions after that. And yeah, another really important thing is the reviews that I do after every single lesson. Since the start of the year, I've been making notes for every single one of my lessons in each of my subjects, whether it's maths, biology and chemistry. My biology and chemistry ones are so much more detailed than my maths one because there's not as much notes that needs to be made for maths. But for me, these notes work wonders because when I'm making them after every lesson, I realize that there's so many things that I didn't really understand, and after making those notes, I fully understand. And usually the notes that I make are from a wide variety of different resources. So then when I make my flashcards, I only need to base them off my own notes. And yeah, this works really well, and if you want more information about it, it's in my A-level workflow video. I go over exactly how the process works, and so you can see that if you need. And the process is always the same after I come from a lesson. I would come home with my class notes, perfect them into a nice detailed polished set of notes, and then convert them into flashcards, and do that again and again and again and again for every single lesson. And even though it's really tiring at first, you get used to it, and by the time it comes to this time of the year, you literally have nothing to do because everything's already been done for you. And usually after each set of notes and flashcards that I make, I also do a set of practice questions alongside on PMT. But it's nothing too serious, it's just that so I can see that I haven't actually missed out anything. So it goes back to a question of what I'm actually doing for my end of year exams. Well, to be honest, at the moment, I'm not even doing anything, apart from the flashcards, of course, and the reviews. That is literally it. And another thing that I'm doing is using my 9-week revision plan to list out exactly what topics I'm struggling on. So over the course of these 9 weeks, I'm just going to be pushing those bottom topics up. So overall, I can feel very confident about all of the topics. And by the time I get to about 3 or 4 weeks until my actual exams, that's when I'm actually going to start revising, and that's when I'm going to start doing practice questions that aren't just BMT questions, and try and find practice questions from elsewhere, and perhaps get a few workbooks and try and work through those as well. And for something like maths, I'm going to start doing AS papers because I've done all of Pure 1. And yeah, that's what I'm doing for my end of year exams. I hope you're doing something as well too.